Spartanburg Methodist and Thomas University. It is the Pioneers at 3-6 and 1-1 at home, hosting the Nighthawks from Georgia at 4-4 and 1-0 on the road. Hi again, everybody. Chris Shima, glad to be back with you. How have you been? Hopefully well. We'll talk more, chat more later. Let's get to the starting lineups first for the Nighthawks of Thomas University, coming off an exhibition loss on Tuesday against Valdosta State, 107-62. Their head coach, Colin Cotter, is starting today. Number 2, Javian Baker. Number 3 is Joshua Robertson. Number 12, Tyson Anderson. Number 23, Jordan Howe. And number 24, Christian Nurse. And now starting today for your Pioneers, they're coming off a loss back on the 23rd of November at Cumberland's University, 102-77. And head coach Blake Jackson starting number 2, Kelton Teasley. Number 3 is Brian Bayon. Number 6, Richard Rojas. Number 11, Kenny Burns. And number 21 is Mason Lamb getting the start today. In that game at the Cumberlands on November 23rd, Pioneers were outshot 52% to 47%. Pioneers lost the turnover battle 20-7. Cumberlands was plus 22 in points off turnovers. Brian Bayon and Kenny Burns had 18 points each, but that turnover discrepancy there was a big deal in the Pioneers' last game. So a little time off for Spartanburg Methodist, just the third home game. But this is the start of 3 straight at home to start the month of December for Spartanburg Methodist. We'll be with you again next Tuesday against Voorhees at 7 p.m. And then on the 14th, that'll be a game against Columbia that will be available on the Spartanburg Methodist Huddle channel. So I'm with you for one more. That's next Tuesday. And then game 3 in this 3-game homestand for the Pioneers will be on the 14th. So a couple weeks at home. They've had a little bit of a break, had some practice time, more importantly. Blake Jackson, a chance to get his team in the gym with some time off. And we'll see how they come out today against a pretty good Nighthawks team. 4-4 on the year under Colin Cotter in his first year, former Reinhardt assistant. This team beat Reinhardt to open the season. So we're underway. Robertson with the bounce pass down low to Howe. And it trickles back to Robertson on the deflection, throws a no-look to Nurse, who scores. So an easy one down low puts Thomas up 2-zip on their first possession. Bayon, what a job he has done. He is the conference, the CAC player of the defensive player of the week. But we could talk days and days about his offense as well. Kenny Burns has been hot. Not that time, though. Misses his first shot. Offensive rebound by Rojas. Pull up from the elbow is good. So Rojas gets the Pioneers on the board and ties us at 2. Richard Rojas, 54% shooter, averaging just a shade under 8 points per game, but you're going to start to see that production go up. Block from behind, speaking of Burns. Hop step to the bucket for Anderson. Swings it out. Robertson is, he made a couple of pumps but came up short. Now a 3-on-3. Here's Burns off the glass, no good. Rebound controlled by Anderson. Nighthawks 2, Pioneers 2. 18:40 to go, settling into this one. Baker on the far side. This is Nurse to the bucket. Swings it out to Howe. He attacks and draws contact. Rojas picks up the foul. It's his first. So first foul of the game sends Jordan Howe to the free throw line. Just under 10 points per ball game, 91% free throw shooter. This is a pretty good free throw shooting team, the Nighthawks, and that's my fault. That's my fault. I jinxed them. Mentioned the start of a 3-game homestand for the Pioneers. This is game 2 of a 4-game road trip. Tomorrow, they'll head down 26 and take on Morris College in Columbia at 7 p.m. Is Morris in Columbia? I can't remember if that's the one. Is that the one in Orangeburg? Here is a catch and shoot for Bayon. He buries a 3. Brian Bayon has been red hot. 8th in the NAIA in free throw attempts and makes. Good three-point shooter. He's up to 199 points as Anderson answers back with a 2. 5-4 advantage for the Pioneers, but Bayon 14th in the NAIA in total points, 15th in points per game at 21.8. Rojas has it stripped. Nice defense here by Anderson. And then the Pioneers come back and strip it. Kenny Burns recovers. Burns now into the forecourt. Steps right. He wanted that 3. Instead goes cross court to Bayon, now Rojas. Back out. Here's Bayon, another 3, no good. Nurse has the rebound. This is Robertson. And that jumper is off. Mason Lamb with the rebound. Mason Lamb getting the start today. Freshman hasn't gotten a lot of run. Blake Jackson trusting him out there to open this game. He's got the basketball here, hands it off to Teasley. Now Burns flips it up. The rims look a little loose to me as that one rimmed off. So here's Robertson into the front court. 5-4 Pioneers with the lead. Robertson gets around one man, swings it out in the corner. The 3 is good by Baker. Javian Baker shoots just 20% from 3, but he gives Thomas University a 7-5 advantage. Bayon aggressive. What athleticism. Brian Bayon up to 5. Scored 20 points or more in the first 6 straight games this year. He hasn't been over 20 since then, though, so he's already got 5 here tonight. Here's Nurse for 3, in and out. Rebound by Rojas. Here's Burns into the front court. Throws it ahead, and the reverse is a high arcer that's no good by Teasley. Baker out to Anderson, and the Nighthawks will set it up. We're all tied. We've had one tie and one lead change here in the first 4.5 as that goes out of bounds. And we go to a timeout. 15:33 left to go. We're all tied at 7 here in this late afternoon, early evening affair. Welcome back, everybody. 15:33 left to play. We're just underway here at Spartanburg Methodist in the upstate. Chris Shima, glad to be with you. A little further north from the home studio in Cleveland, Ohio. Oh, man, I was going to fire up the studio camera today because we were supposed to get some snow here, but we're not getting it. Now, if you drive 20 miles from where I am in downtown Cleveland and you go east 20 miles, they've got maybe 6 feet of snow, and that's not an exaggeration. It's literally that little difference because the way Ohio is positioned, if you look at a map, it stretches out to the northeast a little bit, the land does, so when the lake effect gets kicked up, that's the part of Ohio that gets slammed, and we're just kind of on the outside edge of that. So I was hoping to show you some snow today, but not going to happen. Step back 3, Anderson, what a shot to beat the shot clock buzzer. Anderson now with 5. Tyson Anderson, 36% from 3 on the year, averages 8.4 points per game. A lot of balance in the offense for this Nighthawks team as Burns was looking for a whistle. We have sub as Jones is in off the bench, and the tip-in is good down low. So second chance opportunity there for Montreal Washington, I believe that was. Check the number here, just as soon as I can see it. Here's Bayon spinning. He's stripped. Correction, it was Noah Latine who got that cleanup bucket. So 5 quick ones out of the media timeout for Thomas University. Chris Shima, glad to be back with you wherever you're watching from. We appreciate you. Let's see, there's been a bunch of changes here for Thomas University. Lee came up with the steal. Layup is good by Jones. So number 0, Deontay Jones. Number 1 is Jalen Lee. Who else do we have here? I mentioned Latine. Noah Latine is number 13. Number 2, Javian Baker is still in the game. And another turnover here by Spartanburg Methodist. Now it's Lee in the corner for 3. Yes, so 5 quick points. Lee got it, and this bench is producing, and it is a 10-0 run in about a 90-second span for Thomas University. Timeout. Blake Jackson at Spartanburg Methodist. Well, this has kind of been the issue for Spartanburg Methodist and why they are 3-6 right now. Teams are just shooting a high percentage against the Pioneers. The Pioneers right now, opponents are shooting 49%, but in every loss this year, their opponents have been over 50%. And we've talked about it before, it's just not going to get it done. Pioneers' offense at home, however, is usually a little bit better than it's been here at the start of this one. In the first 2 home games, Pioneers shooting 51%. They've been a little bit cold. A change for Blake Jackson. DeAnthony Ross, number 10, is in the game. And check on some other changes here if there are any. I think that might just be the one. This is Burns into the forecourt. Handoff by Rojas over on the far side to Teasley. Teasley had it poked away. Another steal for the Nighthawks. Lee thought about it. Extra pass to Curry, who couldn't get the 3. Number 15 is Eli Curry in the game. Attacking Rojas to the bucket. Can in the 10-0 run. Lee with the rebound. Lee into the forecourt. Lee around 2 men. Makes the no-look bounce pass. Laying it up and in is Latine. So Latine had a putback for his first bucket. Nice little dime there to get it to him. And it's 12 straight now for Thomas University. Number 5, Andre Lightborn with the poke away there. So more changes for the Nighthawks. And we got a foul called. It'll be the first on Thomas University. Nighthawks, Thomas University from Thomasville, Georgia, the City of Roses. It's north of Tallahassee there in the Florida part of Georgia, or the southern part of Georgia, however you want to look at it. Good recruiting area there. Ask Blake Jackson all about that. He knows that area. Nice pass down low. Patient offense there by Ross. A couple of pump fakes there. That ends a 12-0 run. Gets Spartanburg Methodist within 10. Curry into the forecourt on the near side for the Nighthawks. Leaves it far side for Jones. Here's Lee down low and looking high for Latine. And it's a turnover back to the Pioneers. Just about 7.5 minutes into this first half, and the Pioneers, Brian Bayon has 5 of the 9. He's got the basketball into the forecourt, hands it off to Ross. Out. Now Rojas. Top of the key, Ross from downtown. No good, and away from the ball down low on the rebound. We got a foul on Lightborn. Second team foul on the Nighthawks. Nurse is back in. Christian Nurse with 2 points. I mentioned this is a very balanced scoring team. Just 2 players in double figures on the average night, as the turnaround is too long by Burns. And we've seen already 11 guys off the in the rotation in the first 9 minutes of this game. 8 minutes, I should say. Layup is good by Rojas. His second bucket. 19-11. Spartanburg with the trap here. Pull up, no good by Jones, I believe that was. Over on that far side. Look out, Bayon almost slipped. Ross hands it back off to him. Bayon step back, pump, fires, no. Tip pass out to Ross for 3, no good. Bayon is there again, down low. The bucket is good. And that's Rojas who's got 6. Timeout, Thomas University. We'll take it with them. 11:09 left to play. We're just underway. And Spartanburg Methodist has it within 6.
You work hard to get into college, but how does college work for you? By giving you flexible options to learn your way, on your time. By making career skills training part of your degree. By creating a welcoming and diverse campus where you can live while learning what you love. And by keeping costs affordable so you can get the full college experience without a lifetime of debt. SMC, college that works for you.
Welcome back, everybody. Chris Sheeman, glad to be with you. And nice response for Spartanburg Methodist after they went down by 12. Cut that deficit in half. Here's Nurse to the bucket. Offensive rebound and putback is good. His second. So Christian Nurse, 56% shooter from the field. Ends that 6-0 run for the Pioneers. Back up 8. Isaac Gray into the game for Blake Jackson. Gray and Rojas out there with Bayon still out there. So is Ross and Burns. 5 for Spartanburg Methodist right now. Burns will inbound it. Bayon on the baseline to the bucket. Scores again. Ryan Bayon's got 7 already. Back within 6. Jones had it poked away. Here's Nurse now handing it back to him. Nice extra pass, and it's swatted. Barney couldn't get it to go, and in transition, Gray scores. Isaac Gray off the bench, making it a 4-point game. Pioneers team averaging 3.2 blocks per game on the season. And I wasn't sure if it was Rojas. Rojas got another one, if it was him or Ross on that block. Let's see if I can run it back for you real quick here. Okay, that was... Yeah, that was Rojas with the block. So 2 blocks in succession for Rojas. Inbound goes to Lee. Lee right around his man and scores. Too easy. Lee's got 5. The lead is 6 again as we're past the midway point here in this opening half. Rojas 6 points, 2 blocks as he gets it out to Burns. Burns doubled up, ball poked away. This is an active defensive team, and then too much mustard on that one. Credit Bainey, Devin Bainey wearing number 33 in the game for coming out, the big guy, applying some pressure there. Stepping left, it's Lee. And Lee is red hot. He's got 8 points. Jalen Lee, 36% from 3, 48% shooter, 11.2 points per game on the year. Gray pass off the mark. Here's Robertson back in the game, swinging it back out. Heat check time. He's money in the bank right now. Jalen Lee is at his season average already. He's got 11. And just like that, the Nighthawks back up by 12. Burns had it poked away. The Pioneers have just been careless with the basketball here. More shuffling for Coach Cotter as Baker comes back in with 3 points. Jones comes out. Bainey remains in. Anderson back in the game. Lee still out there. Don't want to take him out. Down low. Rojas had it swatted. The fadeaway by Burns is no good. Here comes Robertson. And the Nighthawks trying to improve on their biggest lead. Right now at 12. Bainey swings it out. Lee again. Oh, he's got to go back to the other side. That's his problem. Shot that one from the right. Now Howe will come back into the game. Bainey goes out. Gray with some light man pressure here for the Nighthawks. No trouble getting it into the front court. Top of the key, open look. Rojas for 3. Nope. And the rebound by Anderson. Anderson's got 5 in the game. Scoops it to Lee on the left. Back to Anderson. Now Robertson for 3. No. Nice job by Baker flying in. Robertson will try it again. Too strong. Howe another offensive rebound. The turnaround no. And finally a defensive board for the Pioneers. Courtesy of Gray. Far side, this is Burns. Burns contested 3. 3-on-3, pushing is Robertson, and it's swatted again by Rojas. 3 blocks in the game for Richard Rojas. Double his season average, but the Nighthawks lead by 12. Welcome back, everybody. 7:27 left to play here in the opening half. 12-point lead again for Thomas University. They've been able to go on runs out of these media timeouts, so got to be careful here if you're the Pioneers. or this one can get out of hand very quickly. Nighthawks have, they played about the first 4 or 5 minutes a little sluggish, but their defense has really picked up. They're out rebounding the Pioneers as well. That's close to an and one there for Howe, as Zanai Davis came off the bench, tried to block the shot, commit the foul instead. Mason Lamb is back out there. Ross, Gray, and Bayon. Bayon's got 7, Rojas with 6 for Spartanburg Methodist. Howe on the board with his first bucket. Lee in double figures already with 11 for Thomas University. Anderson's got 5, Latine with 4, Nurse with 4, Baker with 3, Jones with 2, and now Howe with 2 as well. 14-point advantage for the Nighthawks. Lamb trapped in the corner, found Gray, swings it front court to Ross. Ross, hop step to the bucket, can't score. This little box out there, the throw ahead goes to Baker. Baker finger rolls it in. Baker's got 5, and it's all Nighthawks. This is what I was talking about out of these media timeouts. Thomas University has come focused. That's going to be a backcourt violation. And the Pioneers are just kind of in a funk right now. They're making a lot of really silly mental errors. Burns is back in the game, scoreless first half so far for Kenny Burns. They need him, and he's been hot, 18.9 points per ball game. In his last 4, he's averaging close to 24 a game. He's scoreless so far here. Got to be aggressive. Bayon, pass to Lamb, too strong off the glass. Offensive rebound, Ross. Ross is doubled up. Swings it back out to Bayon. Bayon, extra pass to Burns, fakes the 3. Step back 3 now by Burns. Yes, there we go. Maybe that'll get Kenny going. Burns, as I mentioned, almost 24 points per ball game in the last 4 games, 48% shooting, and he's shot 31 free throws in the last 4 games, shooting 71% from the charity stripe. Howe's back at the line where he just hit a couple. Both teams with 3 team fouls now. Jordan Howe missed his first 2, which is extremely rare for him at 91% from the charity stripe, but he's hit his last 3. Rojas back in, 6 points and 3 blocks. Howe gets the next one to rim in, so he's 4 of 6 from the free throw line. Thomas University by 15 points. Burns swings it ahead. Alley-oop is blocked. Robertson skying to make a great defensive play. Here is Anderson splitting the defense, swinging it out. Open look for Baker. Buries another 3. I mean, it's swing and dish. It's swing and dish. It's just rinse and repeat right now. Pioneers have got to get out and guard the 3-point line. You got Lee and Baker red hot. That should have been a jump ball or a travel or something. The whistle was not blown, and the Pioneers lose it out of bounds anyways. But this one is quickly getting out of hand. Biggest lead for the Nighthawks now at 18, and they could put more on the board here with this possession. Everything going right for the Nighthawks. Robertson goes to his right side. Now left wing Lee. He's missed his last 2. He's cooling off a bit. 11 first half points for Jalen Lee. Burns, Rojas almost lost it, had to go to the ground. Then it's poked away again. What hustle by Baker. He is so active defensively. And, oh no, we're frozen in time. Rojas, briefly, the space-time continuum stopped, and we ceased to be. But it's just a jump ball. No biggie. We're all still here. Oh, we're froze again. If you guys are on the YouTube chat and you were watching, there was I think there was a men's game that I didn't do. Did you guys have these kind of buffering? This huddle system has so far not been serving us very well. We got a timeout. We're going to see if we can short out the technical issues, and we'll come back here in a minute.
You work hard to get into college, but how does college work for you? By giving you flexible options to learn your way, on your time. By making career skills training part of your degree. By creating a welcoming and diverse campus where you can live while learning what you love. And by keeping costs affordable so you can get the full college experience without a lifetime of debt. SMC, college that works for you.
Folks, we are back to live action with 5 minutes, 8 seconds to go here in this first half, dominated by the Nighthawks. Pioneers trying to work themselves back, off on the three. Offensive rebound by Rojas. Swings it out to Burns for three. Yes. Folks, this is out of my control, and I think it's out of the school's control. I did let them know that we are having issues with the stream in the gym. But this could just be what we got to deal with today. For the most part, it's been running smooth, but today hasn't been anything but that. Some of these streaming companies are getting away with a lot. Here's Anderson burying a three, and as the three-pointers continue to fall for the Nighthawks, Anderson now up to 8. One of 3 guys already for the Nighthawks with at least 3 points, or excuse me, at least 8 points. Down low, Rojas, the fadeaway, yes. Back-to-back buckets for Rojas. He's up to 8 points. Kenny Burns had 6 quick ones. So the lead is 16, make it 19 as Baker gets into double figures now. He matches Lee. They each have 11 points apiece for the Nighthawks. Take their biggest lead again at 19. Lamb over on the left wing. Here is Burns out deep. Burns pass deflected. It comes to Rojas, and Rojas can't miss right now. First player in double figures for Spartanburg Methodist is Richard Rojas. He's got 10. Like I said, you're going to see his production go up. Came in averaging 7.8. By the end of the year, I bet that number is closer to 12, 13, maybe even higher. Anderson on the right side, guarded by Teasley, who's back in. Pull up, got it to go from the baseline. And Anderson is the third player for Thomas in double figures. He has 10. Unbelievable shooting right now by the Nighthawks. Burns out deep. Here is Rojas to the bucket. Rojas has the last 6 for Spartanburg Methodist. Doesn't matter if you can't get stops on this end, though. Let's see if the defense can do something to cool off these Nighthawks. Anderson had it stripped, and it's a foul. Foul called on Rojas. We're going to go to another timeout, folks. 2:32 left to play here in the first half, and we'll be back here shortly. Welcome back, everybody. Chris Sheeman with you. 17-point advantage for the Nighthawks. Wherever you're watching from, thanks for joining us. We have not been with you for a few weeks. Be with you again next Tuesday as this homestand continues for the Pioneers. Spartanburg Methodist going to play UNC Wilmington in an exhibition on December 28th near the beach. But it's all home games. Whoa, what a play. Inbound to Baker, and wow. Thomas University just with all the momentum, and the highlight play right there by Baker, who's got a baker's dozen. See what I did there? He's got 13 now. Answering back or trying to is Bayon, and Bayon will go to the free throw line. But my goodness. Spartanburg Methodist is just going to have to figure out the defensive side of the game of basketball, or it's going to be a real long year. They've got scoring, they've got offense, but they can't stop anybody. Brian Bayon, speaking of scoring, I mentioned he's 8th in free throw attempts and makes in the NAIA. 55 of 64 coming in as he hits his first. 8 points now for Bayon. Make it 9 as he gets 2 out of 2. This is part of the learning experience for this Spartanburg Methodist team playing its first year in the NAIA. I'm reading this book about small college athletics and how a lot of these D3 guys went on to run the NBA practically, and it's a long list, like guys like Sam Presti going back to Jeff Van Gundy, and even Hubie Brown, Mike Fratello from even further back. Greg Popovich is a D3 guy, but a lot of small, you go to the NAIA, this is legitimate basketball. And the Pioneers are getting a big education right now as another 3 goes down. This time it's Lightbourne who gets on the board with his first bucket. I mean, they're getting schooled in the NAIA in this first year. Teasley tries to answer back, comes up short, rebound controlled by Anderson. He's got 10 points. Here's Robertson throwing it down low, and Latine tried to dunk it. It was deflected, and it's going to stay on this end of the floor. Brian Bayon is the only senior on this Pioneers team, remember that. And I was talking to the women's team prior to the season. Now, the women's team brought a lot of their JUCO players over to the NAIA as the pull-up is no good by Robertson from the corner. And one of the things that the JUCO players all said when they were watching film was like, where are all the freshmen? You don't see a lot of freshmen playing as Bayon gets into double figures with 11. Not in the NAIA. It's not like JUCO where you've got all freshmen and sophomores, and my goodness. Lightborn rims in another one. It's his second triple. The lead is out to 21. It's the biggest for Thomas here today. Foul on, was it a 3? It's going to be the 15th foul on the Nighthawks. That much we know with 49 seconds to go here in the first half. And we talk about the difference, or I did during our first broadcast, about the NJCAA and the NAIA in terms of competitive spirit. And look, there's a ton of D1 talent in the NJCAA, like a lot. There really is, but it varies so wildly from school to school, from program to program. Whereas you're playing in the NAIA, so you make that transition, and not only are you playing against mostly upperclassmen who have plenty of experience on the court, but the talent is more evenly distributed, especially for a team like the Nighthawks. Like I said, they've got, almost 10 guys that average close to 6 points a game or more. And we saw, 11 players off the bench in the first 11 minutes, and they continued to shoot the lights out of the place. Baker now has 16 points here in the half. So Baker caught fire early on, stays hot. Step back is good there by Burns, who's up to 8 points. We had one tie and one lead change here in this first half. It's been all Nighthawks. And that pass is deflected, so Thomas University will have 3.8 to get a shot off. Lightborn will inbound it here. Got to go to beat the buzzer. Robertson does and hits it. Why not? What a first half for the Nighthawks. They match their biggest lead as they go to the locker room. They put up 60 in 20 minutes. This Thomas University Nighthawks team with a wild first half, and they lead it by 22. We'll take the halftime break, folks. We'll come back and bring you all the second half action here in just a little bit. Don't go too far. Welcome back, everybody. Spartanburg Methodist trailing Thomas University 60-38 at the half. Chris Sheeman back here with you at the home studio in Ohio. And Thomas University, 52% shooting overall, 57% from 3, 12 of 21. Pioneers shooting 43%, they're 4 of 12 from 3. Rebounding is surprisingly even, +1 to Thomas University. Turnovers, 7 for Spartanburg, 2 for Thomas. Just 2 turnovers in that first half. Pioneers did have 4 blocks, 4 steals for Thomas University. The Nighthawks, Javian Baker, 16 points on 6 of 7 shooting, 4 of 5 from 3. Jalen Lee, 4 of 7 shooting. He's got 11 points. Tyson Anderson with 10. So 3 players in double figures. 6 for Lightbourne, 4 apiece for Howe, Nurse, Latine. 3 for Robertson. He hit that at the buzzer. Deontay Jones with 2. And then for Spartanburg Methodist, 14 for Brian Bayon on 4 of 6 shooting. Richard Rojas, 6 of 10 shooting, 12 points, 3 block shots, 4 rebounds. Kenny Burns, 9 points on 3 of 11, 4 assists and a steal. He has the team's lone steal. 2 points for Isaac Gray, 2 points for DeAnthony Ross. That's it. 4 guys scored. And 26 of the 38 from Bayon and Rojas as Spartanburg Methodist commits the first foul as we're underway here in this second half. Start of a 3-game homestand for your Pioneers. We'll be with you again next Tuesday against Voorhees at 7 p.m., more traditional time next Tuesday. Game 2 of a 4-game road trip for Thomas University. They go to Morris College in South Carolina at 7 tomorrow, and then on Saturday they're at Point. So more trips up north for Thomas. As this is just their second road game of the season. 2 quick team fouls on the Pioneers. Howe's back at the line. Howe has hit 4 of 6 from the charity stripe. All of his points are from the free throw line. And he's up to 5. Spartanburg Methodist gave up 102 against Cumberland's on the 23rd. And 61 on the board right now as we're just underway here in the second half for the Nighthawks. These 2 first-year head coaches, Blake Jackson, former NAIA assistant, JUCO assistant, Colin Cotter. He was Reinhardt's assistant. That strong athletic department program, they always have good teams. It doesn't seem to make a difference what the sport is. Reinhardt's usually in the mix. And we saw their men's basketball team earlier this year, Thomas University beating them. Pioneers, I should say, saw them on the road. But you get what I'm saying. So first possession now for Spartanburg. Burns top of the key. Burns with 8 points. Double pumps, can't score. Teasley the rebound. High arcs it off the glass. He's on the board. Kelton Teasley with the bucket. Gonna need some production out of him as the season goes on. Nice crossover there by Anderson. Open in the corner, Robertson short on the 3. Ball tipped out to Burns. Burns turns on the Jets to the hoop, had it stripped, and a late whistle, but a foul is called. Our audio, I think, is a little bit behind, so some of these whistles sound a little bit later than they might be traditionally. Kenny Burns, 75% at the free throw line. He has been getting to the free throw line. I mentioned 23.8 points per ball game in his last 4 games. He has a chance now to get into double figures if he hits the second free throw. Rojas goes out. Ross comes back in for Blake Jackson. So Burns now in double figures. 3 players in double figures for Spartanburg Methodist. Burns, Brand, and Rojas have combined for 36 of the 42. Nurse to the bucket, too strong off the glass. Bam with the rebound. Bam pushes it ahead to Burns for 3. So Robertson had it, lost it, but it stays with the Nighthawks. And here they come. A blocking foul going to be called as Anderson on his way to the hoop. Pioneers already have 3 team fouls here in this half. As the 3 is short, Mason Lamb's got the rebound. Ball fake there by Bayon. Now he backs it out. Spartanburg Methodist. This is a very interesting stat for Spartanburg, and it speaks to the defensive struggles. The Pioneers shooting slightly worse in their victories. They're just under 48% when they win, but they're over 48% shooting when they lose. Bayon splits the defense, almost lost the dribble, got it back, now out to Burns. Kenny Burns crosses over, backing down his man, the pull-up off the back rim. Rebound comes to Bayon. Mason Lamb for 3. And the rebound controlled by Nurse. Look out, that had to be saved, and it was. It trickles out to Baker, and now the Nighthawks will set up the offense here. So what looked like it would have been a busted play was saved by Robertson, who's got the basketball out deep now. And miscommunication there. Hal mistimed the pass, looking for Nurse down low. A little bit of a wonky start to this second half. Thomas University leads by 19. We'll step aside. Welcome back, everybody. Pioneers with the basketball down by 19. I'm not sure what the holdup here is. I think they were double checking to make sure who had the ball, maybe. I don't know. So Lamb to inbound it. Lamb, Teasley, Burns, Ross, and Bayon are the 5 on the floor right now for Spartanburg. So Lamb gets it across, guarded by Baker. Bayon attacks, had it blocked, but contact, they say, as Howe didn't think so. This game has been officiated much differently here in the second half already. They let a lot go in the first half, and they are not doing that right now. So Bayon is at the line. Brian Bayon on the season, 86% free throw shooter. Mentioned in the first half, if you're just joining us, 8th in free throw attempts and makes in the NAIA. He's real good at a lot of things. Getting to the free throw line might be his strongest asset. So Bayon with 15 now. And he's stuck on 15 as the second one rims out. Nurse got the rebound. Nurse into the front court. And it's taken away. A steal by Teasley. And Teasley throws it down. Kelton Teasley. It's a much-needed turnover. Pioneers have whittled a 22-point deficit down to 16. Got to keep working here. Long way to go. That shot way off by Nurse. You could tell by the angle he shot it at. That wasn't going to be good. Burns lost it. Teasley throws it down low. Bucket is good, and a foul as Ross scores. Here come the Pioneers. DeAnthony Ross, 56% free throw shooter. 4 team fouls on Thomas University. We've had 7 fouls called in the first 3.5 minutes of this second half. We had 10 fouls, I believe, in the entire first half. Double check that. We had 9 fouls in the entire first half. Free throw is no good. Hustle for the rebound, and Robertson got it. Another hustle play. Throw ahead to Lightbourne. Quick trigger 3 is no good. So Nighthawks cooling off a little bit from 3. Pioneers. Bayon pull-up triple. Yes! Here they come. It's a 10-point game. Bayon's got 18. We have only played 5 minutes here in the second half. Look out down low. Putting up and in is Latine. So a lot of ball pressure there by the Pioneers. That left Latine alone. Bayon looking for a whistle. It's deflected, gets it back, attacks, and scores. So Bayon, for the 7th time this season, has reached the 20-point mark. So that 22-point lead cut in half. Pull up by Anderson, no good. Tip up, yes, down low by Latine. Well, Latine's been real productive. We haven't seen a lot of them, but he's got 8 points. That's a really underrated basketball city of Houston, Texas. Bayon going to work and drawing contact. 60-38 was your halftime score. 14-5 since that time. And Brian Bayon will try to get Spartanburg a little bit closer when we come back. Still 15 minutes to go. Spartanburg trying to mount the comeback here. The lead has been as high as 22 for Thomas University. They had a 22-point lead 2 different times, including at the half. It was 60-38, 14-5 here in the second half for Spartanburg. And Bayon up to 20 points. Make it 21 as he gets the first free throw to go. Chris Shima back here with you, wherever you're watching from. As always, we appreciate it. And Bayon rims in the second. So he's 3 for 4 from the charity stripe. Thomas University up to 5 team fouls. They only had 5 in the entire first half. Mentioned a lot more whistles here in the second period. Here's Lee off the bench in double figures. Throws up a wild shot that went off the side of the backboard. And what did they call, a foul? They called a foul on Rojas. And that's going to give Jalen Lee, free throws. It wasn't a foul an hour ago, but it's a foul now. Jalen Lee, 77% at the line on the season. Scored 11 points in the first half. That's his season average. So Lee up to 12 in the game, and the lead is a dozen. Here's Teasley. His pass intercepted by Jones. What a play by Jones. Latine gets it out, attacking Lee, swings it out. Lightborn again. Oh, it went halfway down, came out. Who's got the rebound? Looks like Anderson. He deflected it off a Pioneer. What a play. The hustle plays are decidingly in the favor of the Nighthawks here today. Isaac Gray going to come back in now for Blake Jackson. Zanai Davis also out there as that one is rimmed in. So Lee now with 14 tonight. And the lead is 14 again. Pioneers got to be careful here. And another turnover. Throw ahead goes to Lee. Lee puts it up and in. This is depth right now. This is what you're seeing. Out of these media timeouts, I talked about this in the first half. You're seeing these runs for the Nighthawks. Why is that? Colin Cotter's bringing in fresh legs. He's basically running line changes out of these media timeouts because he's got 12 to 14 guys who could give him quality minutes and production, and that's okay. Well, that's why you're seeing these runs. What a play by Bayon. Man, he is a special talent. Bayon with the finger roll, but got to get stops. Got to find your legs. Got to close out on the three. Lightborn's missed a couple, and that's going to go off of Lamb out of bounds, so it's going to stay with the Nighthawks. And even though they've cooled off, you really don't want to give them extra possessions, and that's what the Pioneers have done here. So Lee to inbound. Anderson out deep. Back to Lee. Lee had it stripped. Great defense there by Burns. Bayon had it poked away, got it back. Now Burns will attack, throws it up. No, but he's fouled. That is 7 team fouls on the Nighthawks. Pioneers going to be in the 1-1 and the bonus over the final 13 minutes. Kenny Burns, 75% free throw shooter. In double figures already today with 10. Make it 11. Marshall Lamb will come in now. Mason Lamb will go out. Marshall playing for the first time tonight. So Burns has a dozen. The lead is a dozen for the Nighthawks, but it's been much higher. If you're just joining us, it was 60-38 at the half. Into the forecourt is Jones. Latine. Now Baker back in the game. Bounce passes Miscommunication there between Baker and Lee. One went left, the other went right. Here comes Burns around his man. He'll score. It's a 10-point game. Kenny Burns with 14. Second leading scorer on the team. It's been all Bayon, Rojas, and Burns, basically. Ross and Teasley have combined 8 points. Gray's got 10. But Bayon with 24. Burns with 14. Rojas with 12. That is all the scoring. So two very different, contrasting games going on here. We've got the balanced Nighthawks and the three-headed wrecking crew for the Pioneers. Boy, Lightburn had that go in and out again. Into the forecourt, it's Burns going to work again. Double pumps and scores. It is an 8-point game. This is unbelievable. Will the Pioneers rally from 22 back? Down low, slam dunk, big bucket there by Latine, who's producing again. He's in double figures now with 10. Brian Bayon with 24. He's got the basketball. Pull up, no good. Rebound by Jones. Jones 3-on-3. Jones swings it out to Baker from downtown. Grazed the rim, that's it. And Baker tried to save it, couldn't. So the Nighthawks are cooling off with their three-point shooting. The defensive intensity picking up for the Pioneers, and it has them now within 10. We'll be back.
You work hard to get into college, but how does college work for you? By giving you flexible options to learn your way, on your time. By making career skills training part of your degree. By creating a welcoming and diverse campus where you can live while learning what you love. And by keeping costs affordable so you can get the full college experience without a lifetime of debt. SMC, college that works for you.
That's me, Chris Sheeman. Glad to be back with you. Briefly, Spartanburg Methodist got it within single digits. It's a 10-point game, and we have a foul called now on Jones. 8th team foul. And you love the aggressiveness for the Nighthawks, but you don't want to foul that far away from the basket. So Burns back at the line. Kenny Burns has really picked it up after a slow start. He's up to 16 points. I mentioned he's averaging close to 24 a game in his last 4 games. And he's a 77% free throw shooter in his last 4 as well. Burns now with 17. Back within single digits. This is a game that's featured only 1 tie and 1 lead change. We were tied at 7 all, and the lead change was 5-4. After that 7-7 tie, out of a media timeout, the Nighthawks went on a 12-0 run. They built out a 22-point halftime lead, and now it's down to 8. This is a 26-12 second half so far for the Pioneers. Love to see the grit in this young club. Baker contested shots, and the foul going to be on Gray. So Baker at the free throw line. 7th foul now on the Pioneers. So both teams in the 1-1. There have been a lot of whistles here in this first half. Javian Baker, 56% free throw shooter, rims in the first. Baker now with 17 points tonight. And he stays on 17. Lightbourne with the hustle play. Throws it back to Lee. Lee attacks, scoops, and scores. Lee now with 18. 4 players in double figures for Thomas. Lee's got 18, Baker 17, 10 apiece for Anderson and Latine. Bayon picks up the foul, and like I said, keep attacking. They're calling it extra tight here in the second half. Brian Bayon back at the line. 24 points for Bayon. Make it 25. Teasley back in with 4 points. Burns goes out. Not likely for long. Bayon now with 26. D'Anthony Ross is in now. Davis departs for Blake Jackson's team. So here we go again, 9-point game. Still 11:26 to go. Teasley with a little ball pressure, but no trouble for Lee. Lee, pass up top, stepping to the right. The 3 is off the mark. Rebound controlled by the Pioneers. Numbers here is Lamb for 3. Too strong, but it's off of Latine. It came so fast at Latine that he couldn't gather it. It was like a rocket off the backboard. Bayon in the corner. Bayon had it poked away, got it back, down low. Ross flips it up and in. The lead is 7. Ross has 6. D'Anthony Ross came in averaging just about 3.5 a game. Jones over to Baker. Baker left wing. Takes it top of the key, now to Lee on the near side. Guarded by Teasley. Gets around him, attacks. No, but another whistle. So Lee going to the free throw line. Lee with 18 points today, 77% free throw shooter. Can get to 20 if he hits his second one. Burns is back in. I told you he wouldn't be out long. Comes in for Marshall Lamb. Looks like Howe's back in the game for Thomas. Their rotation has been a little bit tighter here in this second half. So Lee does get to the 20-point mark. He's going to come out of the game as Robertson comes back in. But again, you look at this backcourt, you got Lee, Baker, Robertson, and Lightbourne. You see you got 4 guys you can constantly rotate if you're Thomas in that backcourt. And in this case, they've got 3 of those 4 guys out there all at the same time. I mean, that's a luxury. Jones as well. I forgot about Jones. You got 5. What a money shot there by Burns, who's red hot. Burns now with 21. It's a 6-point game. Just past the midway point here in the second half. A 22-point lead has become anybody's game now. Robertson over to Baker. Howe will attack. Swings it out. Open look for Jones. Tipped up, no, once, twice, a third time is the charm for Baker, who's now got 19. We have another whistle. And another foul is called from the other end of the court. The Nighthawks committing some silly fouls here in this second half, and now it's double bonus. 9:34 of double bonus time for the Pioneers. Early Christmas gift from the Nighthawks. So Kenny Burns back at the line, 21 today after hitting that ridiculous three-pointer. Make it 22. Chance to get it back within 6 now. Burns getting it going has really been a big reason why this game has flipped a little bit here in the second half. Not a little bit, a lot. But it's also been the Nighthawks cooling off from 3. I mean, they were not missing in the first half. Jones gets it in the forecourt. Good pressure by Teasley. In the corner, Baker throws it down low for Howe. Had to save it out to Jones for 3. The tip up, no. Boy, Baker had it, lost it, ripped it away, and we got a whistle. And I believe it's going to be on Baker. And if it is, it's another foul. It's the third one here in the second half in bonus time that the Nighthawks have committed from the other end of the court. Colin Cotter making his case, and I agree in some instances that the second half has been called much tighter than the first. It has not been consistent here tonight. But these fouls all the way at the other end of the court are real bad look for the Nighthawks right now as Gray gets the first one to go. Hunter DeCure is in the game now. Brian Bayon is out as Rojas checks back in. Don't expect him to sit long. It is a 4-point game. Gray up to 4 points. 2-possession game with still 9 minutes to go. Anderson cut off on the baseline by DeCure. Step back 3, no. And players jostling for the rebound. And it looks like it's going to go against Ross. It's an interesting call because both players were locked up. But Howe's done a nice job getting to the free throw line here today. All 5 points for Jordan Howe are from the charity stripe. He's hit 5 of 8, I believe. That's his 6th one. That's the 9th team foul on SMC too, so keep an eye on that. Everybody's in the double bonus now. So Howe up to 7. Look at this Pioneers team. They love these nail biters. Here we go again. Burns trying to get around 2 men. Again, patient offense there by Ross, who waits and scores. 4-point game again. Ross up to 8. What a second half by Spartanburg Methodist. Howe top of the key. He'll go, hangs, and scores. Good aggressive play there by Howe. It's his first field goal. He's got 9 points. 7 of them from the free throw line. Teasley for 3. Rebound controlled by Robertson. It's poked away. Robertson recovers. It's poked away again, and another whistle on Teasley. That was the right call. Okay, those of you who are just joining us, you're hearing these whistles a lot later than are actually being blown. I got to stick up for the officials a little bit here. Our audio on this huddle camera is just not in proper sync, and it's just a little tick off. So if all of these whistles seem extra late to you, that's why. It's not actually the case. So both teams in the double bonus now. Josh Robertson, 78% free throw shooter. He had a triple at the buzzer to put the Nighthawks up 22 at the half. That was his lone bucket until that first free throw, and now he's got 5 points tonight. He's going to go out of the game as Lee comes back in. Lee has a team-high 20, although Baker right behind him with 19. And Anderson and Latine with 10 points apiece. Howe's got 9. Bayon remains on the bench with his 26. Here's Burns. Burns steps inside the arc, can't get the jumper to go, so quietly Thomas getting stops, lead back to 8. If they score again here, I bet you're going to see a timeout and get Bayon back on the court. Can't mess around too much longer with him out of the game. Lee attacks, and that's going to be a blocking foul called. Oh, Ross thought he had the charge. Was he in the restricted area? We're going to have immediate timeout. But let's take a look at this. Well, he was outside the restricted area. I'm going to take another look at this. Let's see if we can. No, it's not letting me do it. Let's try to reload it. There we go. Okay. I don't know. I've been calling basketball games for 12 years. I don't know what a block and charge is. I just don't. But we're going to take a timeout, and it'll be more free throws for the Nighthawks here in just a bit. Welcome back, everybody. That's me, Chris Sheeman. So Lee at the line for 2, both teams in the double bonus. Spartanburg has been as close as 4. It's back out to 8, and it stays on 8. If you're just joining us, Pioneers trailed by 22 at the half. Brian Bayon is back in the game. Davis is in for Teasley. So Davis, Bayon, Ross is out there, Teasley, and who am I missing? Burns. We haven't seen Rojas. So both free throws missed by Lee, who came in 77%. 2 key misses. Got to capitalize on this now if you're the Pioneers. And I think we have... I don't know what happened there. Is it an issue with the clock? It's a turnover for the Pioneers, and it must have been away from the ball. That was strange. Anyways, Nighthawks basketball. Anderson swings it out to Lee. Lee gets it back, attacks baseline. The flip shot by Jones is good. Nice response here by the Nighthawks. After the Pioneers cut it to a 4-point game, Thomas University back up double digits. Well, Bayon Burns got some rest, so they got to get back to cooking. Bayon fires, can't score. Rebound controlled by the Nighthawks. Throw ahead goes to Baker. Baker slam dunk. Baker with 21. He and Lee keep flip-flopping for the team high. Burns trying to put the moves on, throws it down low. Ross is fouled. This one's starting to slip away again from Spartanburg. D'Anthony Ross, 56% free throw shooter. Pioneers need these. So Ross, chance to get into double digits. Now he's up to 9 points. Fourth time that Kenny Burns has reached the 20-point mark, and as I mentioned, he has been red hot of late. Ross joins his other teammates in double digits now. Got to get back to stopping these guys on this end of the court. Fouls have been a problem for both teams. But when you're down, you can't keep doing that. Can't keep sending the team to the free throw line because you're just trading points right now. And with 6:07 left to go, that's not what the Pioneers need. So Anderson at the line. Tyson is perfect from the charity stripe this season. He's got 10 points today, and there I jinxed him too. I jinxed somebody in the first half, and that's on me, Tyson. These people that think broadcasters can affect whether or not players make free throws, these are the same people that think the government can turn on weather machines. It's an 11-point game now, Nighthawks. Circus shot no good there by Teasley, and it's starting to look bleak again if you're a Pioneers fan. 5:47 left to go, and Nighthawks back in the driver's seat here. Lee attacks. Can't score. Tip up, no. Staying with it. Howe can't get it again. And it's collected by Davis. Bayon to his left. And we'll back it out on a switch. Whose foot did that go off of? We're going to keep it on this end of the court, it looks like. So Pioneers will have to get it in and get going. The shot clock winding down here. Burns attacks. Burns, yes. Kenny Burns has 25. So he stays at his average over the last now 5 games. Contested shot. Anderson hits it anyways. He's got 13. Pioneers can't keep trading buckets here. Teasley, Burns, lost it. Jones throws it ahead. Here's Howe, slam dunk with the left hand, and Howe is in double figures with 11, and the Nighthawks are trying to close the door here. Up by 13 again. Burns for 3. Rebound by Anderson. Anderson attacks. Swatted. Ross sends it into his opponent's bench. It's so hard to come back. You know, you watch a lot of the NBA, and those guys make it look so easy. Because it seems like every time somebody gets up by 18 points in the NBA, you can almost be assured that the other team's going to come back unless you're playing like one of the bad teams. It's hard in college. you expend a lot of energy, and we were talking about it when the comeback first started for the Pioneers. I was talking about the depth of Thomas University, and it's really just their depth that was the biggest reason why. That should be, is it going to be a foul or a shot clock violation? If it's a foul, Ross will shoot 2 free throws. And it looks like it's going to be a foul. But the Pioneers got it within 4, and then they had to get a few of their top scorers some rest. That's when Thomas, their second unit, went on that run. And right now the Nighthawks in control. We'll step aside one more time. So Ross is at the free throw line. Chris Sheeman back here with you, by the way. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I got one more game with you next Tuesday. I'll be with you for that one. And then the Pioneers will finish up this 3-game homestand the 14th against Columbia. That part of a doubleheader, it'll be on the Pioneers Huddle channel, if you want to watch that one. Ross with 12. Pioneers will have to play pretty much perfect down the stretch here. Love the effort in the second half, though. We talked about it. These are building blocks for Spartanburg Methodist. Pull up from the elbow is no good, so there's a stop they needed. It's pretty much got to be all stops and scores from here on out. Bayon into the forecourt. Here is Teasley, no, off the glass. Rebound by Latine. Latine gets it at the free throw line to the cutter Lee, no. Lee stays with it, no again. Bayon recognizing the situation, trying to go quickly, hung it short. Rebound again to Latine. And again, it's a throw ahead to Lee. This time he scores. So Lee with 22, Baker's got 21, Anderson 13, Latine 10, Howe with 11 for Thomas. Bayon has 26, Burns 25, Rojas and Ross each have 12 points apiece for Spartanburg. And we have a double dribble on Burns. So it's looking like Spartanburg Methodist on its way to 3-7. Now Rojas comes in. We have not seen a lot of Rojas here in the second half. Might have been foul trouble, not 100% sure. He had 3 blocks in the first half. He's got 12 total points in the game. And it looks like the Nighthawks are going to stop the clock here. We'll go away as well. 2:36 left to go in this one. Thomas University trying to go to 2-0 on the road. Welcome back, everybody. Chris Sheeman here with you. When you think of Florida-Georgia line, the first thought that comes into your head might be that piece of garbage country quote-unquote band. That's not country music. But there's a lot of really good basketball up and down that border between Georgia and Florida, which is around where Thomas University is located, north of Tallahassee and Thomasville, Georgia. And Colin Cotter has a lot of guys who are from that area. Robertson's from Tallahassee. Lightbourne is too. Anderson's from right there in Thomasville. And then you've got a whole bunch of other guys who are in the Florida, Georgia, Alabama areas. Javian Baker's from Auburn, as a matter of fact. I talked to Blake Jackson. That was our first conversation because I lived in Pensacola for 2 years when Coach Jackson was an assistant at a JUCO in Alabama, roughly in that area. And we were talking about all the recruiting that goes on down there. The JUCOs in Florida, they were the first NIL people. The state of Florida allows the junior colleges to pay like a stipend to the players. So they were the first college basketball players to be paid, basically. And that's one of the reasons why the JUCO basketball in Florida is so unbelievably good. But it's also just a lot of talent there in that Panhandle area, in Alabama, in even over to Mississippi. That's where Devin Booker's from, as Davis scores. But I like what I've seen out of this Nighthawks team. Anytime you've got this kind of depth, this Nighthawks team can do some damage. This was a team that had lost 3 of 4 entering play today. They had that 1-2 start in Southern State's play. Playing really, really well here today and on their way to their 5th win of the season. With a minute 56 left to go, we have yet another timeout. Can't take them with you. We'll be back. Okay, minute 56 left to go here in this one, and Nighthawks by 12. If you're just joining us, they led it 60-38 at the half. Spartanburg went on a, what was the run at the beginning of this second half for Spartanburg? It was 14-5, excuse me. They closed it within 4. And then Thomas has been able to push it back out. And they're on their way to their 5th victory of the year. A little icing on the cake for Anderson, who's up to 15 points. Spartanburg is calling timeout down by 14 with a minute 26 left to go. Teachable moments for this young Spartanburg Methodist team. We'll be back. All right, so 1:26 left to go here in this one. 14-point advantage, Thomas University out of Southern Georgia. About to go to 2-0 on the road. Bayon attacks, banks it off the glass. Bayon's got 28 points. And the rip away, but the whistle. Pioneers not waving the flag on this, apparently. They're going to play the trap and foul game here with 1:08 left to go, down by 12. So more free throws for the Nighthawks. And Jones will go back to the line. Deontay Jones from Quincy, Florida. Well, he's the guy, the foul in that backcourt. He's a 50% free throw shooter. Everybody else in the backcourt over 70%, if not higher. Well, I shouldn't say that. Baker's at 56%. I don't think he's in the game right now. Yeah, he is. So 1 out of 2 here for Jones. And the fadeaway is no good by Burns. Offensive rebound finds Marshall Lamb, who can't get the 3 to go. Put back, no. Bucket and the foul as Burns scores. So opportunity for Kenny Burns, who's now got 27 to join Bayon for the game high. Bayon Lee actually both have 28 apiece, so Burns can catch both of those players and tie them for the game high, and he does. 10-point game, 49 seconds. They're going to throw the home run ball to Lee. Lee to the bucket, yes. Lee now with 30, so he now has the game high. Let's see if Bayon can match him. He'll try to surpass him with the 3. It's no good, and that should do it. 12-point game, and a double dribble going to be called here on Anderson. This game doesn't want to end. Another timeout. Blake Jackson, I'm sending you the invoice for my overtime. 102-90. We'll be back for the final 30.7 here after this.
You work hard to get into college, but how does college work for you? By giving you flexible options to learn your way, on your time. By making career skills training part of your degree. By creating a welcoming and diverse campus where you can live while learning what you love. And by keeping costs affordable so you can get the full college experience without a lifetime of debt. SMC, college that works for you.
Okay, final 30.7 here. And the Pioneers, Burns will inbound it. Bayon turnaround 3 is good. So Bayon and Lee keep trading the game high. Now Bayon with 31. 9-point game, and we've got a foul. So Anderson can put that extra layer of frosting on the cake, put his team back up double digits. Anderson with 15 points here today. Make it 16. And 17 now for Anderson. Burns no good. Into the forecourt. Here's Howe. He'll hold it. And that'll do it. So Thomas University goes to 2-0 on the road, 5-4 overall, dropping your Pioneers to 3-7 and 1-2 at home. As the Nighthawks win today, 104-93. Once again, we'll be with you next Tuesday as Spartanburg Methodist hosts Voorhees at 7 p.m. Until then, my name's Chris Sheeman. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have yourselves a great night.